What's good, y'all? Top of the top, man. Guys having a phenomenal day. Uh, Starting your day on a good note. You know, I am. I ain't got no choice. Big facts. Um, Definitely want to start off by giving nothing but thanks and honor to the creators. Definitely want to give honor and respect to the ancestors. Want to give honor and respect to the El Kebulan deities. And last but not least, I want to give thanks and honor to all the AKs worldwide. Shout out to you and also those, the ACs. You understand? But I wanted to come on today because it seems like the more things go on into this world, brothers and sisters start seeing or start to believe that these things are prophetic. And when in reality all of these things are propaganda. Um, and because of that, a lot of people now have invested even more time into studying the supposed word of God. Whether it's in the Biblos, whether it's in the Quran, right? I say these two because these are the two foundations of religion, right? And people now are like, running to the word and level of hopes of being protected for what's to come, right? So now you see a lot of people, come on the internet and say, you know, do the right thing, to be like this, be like that. So the blood of Christ or the protection of the creators, the Father, the protection of the Father will be upon you. You know what I'm saying? Allah will protect you. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of our people had invested a lot of time into these words. But at the same time, while people is investing into these words, they don't even understand that they're falling into another phase of control, right? Now, the first thing that you are taught in religion is what? If I was to ask you guys, what is the first thing you learn in religion? What would you say? Think about it. What will be the first thing that you think that you will be told in religion? The first thing that you're told in religion is you have to believe. I repeat, the first thing that you are told in religion is you have to believe. So by default, people, by default, this puts you this puts you in a, what you call it? It puts you in a state of mind. It puts you in a trance now. Because now you know, in order for you to receive this word or understand this word, you have to believe. This is not me saying this. This is the honest truth, right? When you think about Islam, it's the same precept. When you think about Judaism, it's the same precept. It's always you have to believe in order to receive. So in order for you to receive the Holy Spirit, in order for you to receive the love of God, the only way for you to receive anything when it's pertaining to religion, you have to first believe. So that's the first installment, right? Now, with this installment, brothers are now coming with their own ideologies now, right? And one of these ideologies is the story of Africans being the people of the Biblos. Now, me myself, I am guilty of this because as an El Capulan kidnap, you're just trying to find out who you are. You want to know that you more than what they told you, which was a slave. That prior to slavery, your existence was savagery, like you was a savage and this, that. Like we believe that. So on that journey to try to find out who I am, you know what I'm saying? You tapped in, you know what I'm saying? For me, it started off with the Hebrew, you know what I'm saying? From the Hebrew, it went to the so-called Bantu, right? Now, one thing about me is I do my homework and I never let myself be tied down, especially after I had myself tied down when I thought I was a Hebrew, right? Following following these sayings and refusing to look into certain books and do these teachings and what I'm saying, uncover what can um ultimately shatter the Hebrew Israelite theory, right? Which I've done numerous of times. But I understood that. And when I got out of that, my goal was I always said, nah, I'ma always gather information. I'ma pass it through to the people that's on the you know what I'm saying, that's in the state of mind that I am, like-minded individuals. I'ma pass it through and whatever they choose to do with it, that's on them. But for me, I'm gonna uncover, or my journey is going to uncover the truth, right? And finding and looking into finding these truths, you come to find out that a lot of these things, a lot of stuff that was written, you come to find out that a lot of it is not true. And we have brothers that's trying to, like I said, we got brothers that's trying to make us believe that, hold on, this is gonna take, you know what I'm saying? That makes you believe that the African people are the people of the book. Now, when I heard that, it was a breath of fresh air because I always thought and always believed that Africa was that. And when I thought I was an Israelite, I thought because it was connected to Africa is why I consider it some level of importance until I found out that that wasn't true. So finding out that Africa was the land, it was a breath of fresh air. Not gonna lie, it was really a breath of fresh air. But the problem is, right? The problem is the problem that I had with this story was when I started looking into African culture, because now that I know that Africa is the place, 'cause now that I know that Africa is the place, the goal was to find out even more. So we was the kings and queens of Africa. And the kings, the Bible tells of kings and queens, right? When I go looking for that, I could never find it. When I went looking for that, people, I could never find it. Now, for me, that's alarming. That raises a level of concern because as a man, again, that's trying to find out who the heck he is and where we come from, other than what they told us, things was not adding up. When I started looking into why is how how do Paul has the privilege to call God Father and Abram, who never disobeyed, never killed, never prosecuted, never did anything in life. never had the opportunity to refer to the creator as father. I looked into that. That's when you find out that the word father was an interjection because nobody was supposed to refer to the father as father, right? Because if that was the case, he would have told Adam that. If that was the case, he would have told Enoch that. He would have told Abram that. He would have told Jacob that. He would have told them to call me father. Never said that. So I try to figure out how did Paul get the privilege to say dad? How did Paul get the privilege to say dad, father? But Abram never had the opportunity. Jacob never did. Isaac never did. So when I see that, that's when I started saying, hold on, this really doesn't add up here. Let me look into it. And then when I was being told to simmer down, I was told to I was told to be relaxed, to stay calm and and wait till wait till I get the okay from whoever. But I was told. But that's not something we can do because something is not right. And that's what I was trying to let brothers and sisters understand. Something is not right. Things are not adding up. The history of El Kebulan, the black history, does not add up with the white story. You're going to turn up now. The black history of El Kebulan does not add up to the white story. I looked at every book. I asked every question. I looked into every El Kebulan kingdom. How long it's been a kingdom? How long do these people know what a commandment is? Do these people know any of these things? Absolutely not. In fact, the commandments is a new thing unto the land. The commandments has only been in the land for less than 140 years. It's a new thing on the block, which means prior to that, our people had no recollection of keeping any type of you figure that out. You understand? Trying to figure that out is the hardest thing that I had to do and figure out that, oh, this doesn't add up. It's not adding up. And if it's not adding up, you can't tell a man that's in pursuit of wisdom and knowledge and understanding. You can't tell the man that you in a pursuit of that, but you gotta sit still. I'm a warrior. I'm a lion. I'm a man. I'm a man that has children. You know what I'm saying? That I gotta one day sit down and have a conversation with and let them understand. Gather this information to better them so they don't make the mistakes that I've done and fall down the rabbit hole and the traps that these people lay out for us. You feel me? You feel me? So us trying to connect or put these European. Oh, I got disconnected. All right, cool. But you're not going to tell me, listen, people, you're not going to tell me that our history shall be suppressed over European ideology, under European ideology. European ideology will never oversee El Kebulan history. And if you say, oh, it was evil and demonic, you say it was evil and demonic, but yet you still practice one of the religions that is evil and demonic, then what? You practice a religion that is evil and demonic, then what? Do you not question? You do question it, but do you not participate? Do you stop your participation with the religion? I'm sure you guys won't. But when it comes to El Kebulan, when it comes to African history, customs, and traditions, you say, yo, it's bad. When it comes to our history, we're saying it's bad. I had a brother say he's connected to the ancestors. Yo, I'm connected, I'm connected to the ancestors or whatnot. Show my face, man. Nah. I'm connect, we gotta go back to our ancestors and do this. I'm like, but how do you go back to your ancestors and yet using the very same tool and pamphlet that was used to put your ancestors in these circumstances? So you're saying we need to tap in. You're saying that, but we're talking all of this El Kebulan talk, Tata Zombie and this, that. We put all these African languages, but yet not even explain how did locations in Africa named in Africa be renamed in English from the Bible. It's not even renamed in the Isikosa. It's not even renamed in the actual language that the people speak. The area is not even renamed after that. It's renamed after English. And you're telling me that this is the reason why this is our book. What? How did we become this naive? You know why? Because in the beginning of religion, they told you in order to receive, you have to first believe. How did we get this naive, people? See, it started off in the religion, because in religion, it started off by saying you had to believe in order for you to receive. That's the only way for you to be accepted into this ideology, into this foolishness. You have to believe. Sad, but it's the truth. It's sad, but it's the truth. You have to believe. And this is where we falling at, guys. Falling by the wayside. Because stuff like that's supposed to make sense. It's supposed to make sense. Shit like that's supposed to make sense. But it's not making sense. Why is it not making sense? Why isn't it not making sense? Because the belief is preventing it from making sense. I gotta go put some gas, man. It's the belief. I'm literally driving by where I used to work, man. I used to come down here every day for like 4 years, coming down here every morning. Took this gig working with the youth. Man, the youth need saving. Big fact. And when I took it, you know what I'm saying, I elevated to another position, which was probably the worst mistake they probably felt like they did, because that's when they realized that I was uh, a knucklehead. And when I mean a knucklehead, mean I don't follow the rules and regulations of organizations that goes against my people. Like, I put the people first. You know what I'm saying? I used to put the families first, and they didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? They didn't like the fact that I was so committed and so connected to the family, because a lot of these children are my son's age, and a lot of these children are from my neighborhood. And if I don't do my due diligence as a human being, as a black man, as a father, as a civilian, and help these children get, stay on the right path, there's a possibility his friends can bump heads with my son and their friends, and it could be something. So that was always in my mind. You understand? This is why I always gave 150%, and they didn't like that. So for me to be here and see this is just like, wow, this is crazy. Wow, what a story. You know what I'm saying? But give me 2 seconds, guys. I gotta go put some gas in the truck. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, my bad, guys. Yo, listen, I'm thinking about doing this on TikTok, man. One time for the one time because TikTok is there's money to be made over there. So I'm gonna be over there. Follow me if you wanna hear more. Follow me on that TikTok, man. ROD Pod. We outside. All right.